catch back on the ammo run?
Yeah, I came in while you were talking SID.
Any luck?
Now, they've had a few that use glass cutters, one or two that short-circuit alarm systems the same way, but not both together.
What about the red cloth?
That's not even close. Didn't surprise me, though.
Yeah, I've heard the trademarks, but this one takes the cake.
Joe, Val 0.6.
Yes, sir. Got another one for you. Chemical supply firm out on Reddington. Looks like the same group you're working on.
How's that, sir?
The owner said there was a piece of red cloth hanging from the rear door, just like that.
Oh, 4524.
9:10 a.m. Bill and I drove over to the Almid Chemical Supplies Company. The owner, Mr. Alexander Middleton, was waiting for us.
The officer on the phone told me not to touch a thing until you got it.
I did. Yes, sir. What time did you find this?
About 8:30 when I opened up. The door was just standing wide open. Anybody could have walked in here.
Was this door locked last night?
Sure was. Locked it myself. It's a regular routine with me. Lock all the doors, then turn on the alarm system. And then I double-check the whole place.
45.
Well, it doesn't look like it's been pried or forced open. They must have got in someplace else, and then they went out this way.
It just doesn't make any sense to me, Sergeant.
What's that, sir?
Well, whether they came in or went out through that door doesn't matter. The fact is the door's open and my burglar alarm isn't ringing. How do you explain that? No, sir. I haven't done anything except call the police.
I see. Contact seems to be okay.
Joe, back window. They came in this way, all right. Used a glass cutter.
And the system's been jumped.
It's been what?
Cross-circuited. They cut that hole in the window.
When the
When the window was open, the alarm circuit didn't break.
So that explains it.
Yes, sir, that's right.
Why it's not ringing. I always thought each circuit was independent of the others. But this little wire shut my whole system off, huh? No, sir. Well, that back door's still open and it's not ringing. Joe, pull one end of that jumper off. That'll make it ring. That's funny. Could be just something wrong with the alarm and nothing to do with the burglary. No, sir. I checked it just before I left last night. It rang loud and clear then. And the system's still on. Got any ideas?
It's by me. The only thing I can suggest is to have your...
Good morning, good morning.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It's Friday the 2nd.
There's $200 in the cash.
I believe it's 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I fed the inside cats.
Joe, found out the problem with the burglar alarm. Somebody stole it right off that outside wall.
This paper.
Hey, we got a good one.
No, I've never seen it before.
What about anybody else working here? Clerks, stock boys, maybe?
No, this is a small company, Sergeant. I hold the ship down myself. Is there anything significant on the list? No, let's see. The first one's hydrochloric acid. Its most common use is metal etching. It's a fairly powerful acid. What about the others?
One that came
HNO3, nitric acid, CH2OH, glycerol, CH3, toluene, and the last one you can read.
25H,
Yes,
1042.
sir, I noticed that first one, hydrochloric acid. I'd say
45.
for the others on the list. Does that mean anything to you?
No, I can't say that it does. Not much in common with the other chemicals either.
What about the others? Anything in common there?
Well, the nitric acid's fairly common. It reacts with a number of chemicals.
What's it usually used for?
The production of organic nitrogen compounds is one of its most important uses.
I wonder what that has anything to do with the other chemicals.
Temperature is 48 degrees. Welcome, welcome. I'm classified as a part-time YouTuber. A full-time YouTuber is a person that has 1,000 plus subscribers plus 4,000 watch hours plus. You get paid 1,000 subscribers and plus 4,000 watch hours. So I consider myself a part-time YouTuber until I get paid. Well, about 9 o'clock a.m. at feed the outside cats, jump in my car, go to the bank, and do things there. Then I go to Tractor Supply, get a bag of horse pellets. They call them the I guess horses sleep on those pellets. They smell like pine. That's what I use for cat litter. You know, if you got cats in your house, you have company comes over, you got a smell. I saw this on YouTube by some lady, and I've been using it for over a year. You put the horse pellets in a regular cat litter box and sprinkle the cat litter you got, you know, maybe a little bit where they can smell it. Then they'll start using it. And they'll use it, and the house don't smell that bad. Even if you go stay outside for a little bit and come in, you don't smell it like you do the other cat litter box. You all know I got about 10 cats in the house and about 20 cats outside. So if it tells you anything.
Yes, sir, we've seen a few like it. Would you show us the point of entry, please? Right back here.
So since you know I got cats, you can send it to my post office box.
You figure they went off the same way?
41000099.
The door's been cross-circuited. Well, I'll be. How did I miss that? What about these? They mean anything to you? No, we cleaned the floor before closing last night. Looked like some kind of wheel track. Yeah.
So, like, what I like to have is, say, me bending over, or picking the cat box up, dumping it in an empty cat food bag, and taking it outside and dump it, because it's over my weight limit, because I got my hemorrhoid. I had it for years. Have I had surgery? No. So I like to have one of those robots things. You put cat litter and the cat goes in there. They step out, it turns and dump the clod out of them, you know. That's something maybe to look at. Somebody said, how about one of those cat posts where they can climb and sit up there? And I think one of them has a little cubby hole they can go in and sleep. Or, you know, but can you ship it to a post office box? Probably not. Unless you have to put it together, but you can send gift cards to my post office box. And you know, Orchland is no longer Orchland. You can buy about a 40 or 44 pound bag of Orchland for around $24, $25. That's better than Tractor Supply. You know, that's stupid. A month ago, say on the 3rd of January, I bought a 44-pound bag of cat food. They call it multiple cats. It was $29 then. I went on a Monday when I got that $1,000 check. They raised it to 31 something. I can buy a big bag of dog food cheaper than the cats. Why is dog food cheaper than cats? To me, that's stupid. I guess more cats is out there than dogs. I don't know. I can't answer that. Will I live stream on the way to Charlestown? I don't know. But the way people drive, you know, I take 160 over to Charlestown. It don't look bad outside, but so that's something, you know, I might do. But that's right. I said I gotta go to the bank, so that's out. So I'll probably get on at Memphis, because Memphis is between Henryville and Memphis, Indiana. That's the two things where you can get on. I live in between it, you know, so I always like to go different ways. After I go to the bank, then Tractor Supply, I'll go to Charlestown, pick my medicine up. Or I'll go to the post office first and check there. Then go to the smoke shop, pick up my 10 cans of dip. Then talk to them for a while, catch up on the gossip of Charlestown. Then I go pick up my stuff at Walgreens. Then I head back home. Then I might go up to Scottsburg and fill my car up with gas. You know, keep it full.
I've never seen a professional moving alley like this. First off, whatever it was, it had 4 wheels. Take a look.
So, you know, that's going to be my day. When I get back home, I wait till about 12 o'clock and pick my son up, take him to Charlestown, get his medicine. Then we go to New Washington to the library.
Whatever the safe was on couldn't stand up under the weight. You mean the thing collapsed? Just about. By the time the tracks reached the rear door, all 4 of them were pushed up, at least ready to collapse. Not much sense in looking for a rented moving dolly that can't hold 120 pounds, right? And what do you think was used? Off the top of my head, I guess it was a kid's wagon.
So, update from last night on Jamie No, in case you're watching it now. Jamie No got 5 more charges against him. That's a total of 20. His wife turned herself in. She got 10 charges. I think tax evasion, I forget what the other 5. It's on the local news station. You can go to YouTube and type in Jamie No, and you see the news reports. For public safety didn't come on last night. She was going to do an update, so I don't know. But I know you got so many days to come and get the person to so, but the prosecutor that swore out the warrant for public safety declined himself.
Doesn't look like anybody's coming in. Kill the alarm.
Looks like we've had a visitor.
Yeah. Well, now we know what that red claw's for, don't we?
Not much time.
Question is, how soon do they hit after they bark?
So everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But in Clark County and maybe other states, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. Miss No is in Scott County, Indiana jail. But I look into the bookend site, and it shows she's not booked in. My question is, why is she not on the bookend? 'Cause anytime you get booked in, the sheriff of any county in Indiana gets paid for it. So I'm letting you know there's something fishy. That's the same thing that happened to Jamie Note. He was in that jail, probably in solitary confinement. So it's kind of strange that she's not in on the bookend log. You know, that's my opinion. What's going on there? That's only my opinion. I want to thank you all for joining my YouTube channel.
1:58 a.m. We advise the subjects of
And, you know,
Are you gonna tell my mother?
Don't you think we should?
You gonna take us to the police station?
That's where you belong, don't you? Are you gonna talk to us?
Yeah, okay.
What do you got here? H2SO4, sulfuric acid.
What are your names?
I'm Watermelon, he's Pumpkin.
Your real names, boys.
Jimmy Chambers, Timmy Michaels.
Okay.
I'm watching Dragnet on the radio.
Get that stuff on the paper.
What stuff?
What's on that paper he's got? It's supposed to be in a bottle marked exactly the same way.
What do you want it for?
I don't know. It's some chemical stuff. Brain says it's some real boss stuff. He needs it.
All right, now who's Brains?
He's the boss.
Did he send you here?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Just to get that chemical stuff.
Do you know why he wants it?
No, he don't tell us nothing.
What do you use that wagon for?
That's to haul the stuff over to the clubhouse in. That's what we use that for.
What do your parents think you are?
Sleeping. We snuck out of the house. You have to tell him.
Afraid so.
Boy, am I gonna get it. Yeah, me too. We were just doing what Brains told us.
Who taught you how to cut a window and cross-circuit those alarm wires?
Brains did. He made us practice too.
You do everything Brains tells you?
Sure, he's older than us. Yeah, and smart too.
How old is he?
Pretty old, all right.
How old?
12 and a half.
Well, why isn't Brains with you now?
Because he's the boss. Yeah, Brains is the boss. Don't ever pull the job. He just tells us what to do.
This is Wildcat.
That red
What?
With the X on it.
Where's this Brains now?
Over to the clubhouse waiting for us. Said he was gonna do experiment. Experiment. That's what I said.
What kind of experiment?
Brains don't tell us nothing. He's the boss.
Man, could that be nice if I could sit it there?
2:15 a.m. We arrived at the clubhouse. The door was open.
What took you guys so long?
Are you Horace Thornton? Police officer, son.
Oh, I see. Well, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
You're under arrest for burglary.
I'm afraid you've got the wrong person, officers. There's been some mistake.
Your friends call you Brains, do they?
Yes, sir. That is right.
All right, son. I'm going to read you your rights. I want you to listen closely.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to remain silent. You give up the right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak with an attorney and to have the attorney present during questioning. If you so desire and cannot afford one, an attorney will be appointed for you without charge before questioning. Do you understand?
Yes, I believe so. The part about speaking with an attorney, what exactly does that mean?
Well, it means if you think an attorney's advice and counsel would be wise to have before talking to us, and you want to get it, we won't question you.
No, I don't believe I need an attorney. I'm quite able to intelligently answer your questions. Now, where shall we start?
How about the beginning, son? Where have you been tonight?
Right here, I haven't left.
That's not what Timothy and James say.
Who?
Watermelon and pumpkin.
Oh, you have them in custody?
Their parents are picking them up now.
I see. What did they tell you?
Suppose you tell us.
Well, I needed some chemicals and the stores were closed. They didn't have to do it, you know.
Son, this isn't the first time. Now, let's not start off on the wrong foot here, huh?
All right, they work for me.
How many other boys work for you?
10 in all. I do their school homework for them. I'm quite intelligent, you know.
Yeah. Now, why did you want that sulfuric acid?
I had something to prove.
That you could make an explosive, is that it?
Not just an explosive, officer. Nitroglycerin. I was gonna show him I could blow that safe wide open.
Why?
Because everybody said I couldn't.
Who's everybody?
All the kids. I taught them everything they know. If it wasn't for me, they never would have got in all those places. Here, let me show you something. This is a new idea I've been working on. Watch. Now observe. Secret formula. Now. See? It's completely disabled. The mechanism has been melted and fused or frozen together. Can't possibly ring.
And that's your idea of accomplishment, is it, son?
I have a theory about crime, gentlemen.
And just what is that?
It pays.
What makes you think so?
Don't be naive, officers. Look around you. I do.
Go on.
Take my parents, for example. My father saves thousands of dollars every year by cheating on his income tax. I've heard him say so.
You have.
He doesn't get caught. And my mother, I've heard her talk about the bills and whatnot. She charges a bunch of things and doesn't pay for them. Pretty soon they get tired of sending her letters and give up. You see, officers, my parents are smart. So am I.
Your parents know about these burglaries you've been involved in?
No, but I'm sure they'd understand.
Does your father work, son?
Yes, sir. He owns a used car lot.
All right, now, if somebody stole a car from him, what do you think he'd do about that?
That's simple. He'd call the police.
Why?
So they could get it back for him. That's a dumb question.
Why should they get it back for him?
Well, because it belongs to him.
What should be done with a person that steals that car?
Make darn sure he doesn't do it again.
How should we go about that?
Well, put him in jail, I guess. Teach him a lesson.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the people you stole all of these things from have a right to get them back?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I never thought about it that way.
You bet they do, son, because it rightfully belongs to them, doesn't it? Nobody else. Hey, you know it's wrong to steal. That's
So,
laws against it.
everybody have a good day.
There's a flaw in my theory.
It's gonna be a shorty.
And it kind of shows, doesn't it?
Let you know God gave me another day to live. So I want God bless you all. I done a video on a laptop computer that I need. I'm so sorry to ask you for it, but I can't keep using my cell phone to live stream on.
The results of that hearing.
Follow your instinct.
I looked at other live streaming software. There's one that I see on YouTube. He's using Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I think he's using Fork. I got reading more about that. Found the problem is the graphics card. So, that's something that I'm thinking, I'm not a gaming person. I play solitaire on my laptop, games like that, no problem. But to run prison, I got to have a gaming computer. I'm sorry, I know you all can't afford it. But God knows what people can afford it and like that. but I can't keep using my cell phone. And, you know, that's something I'm looking at. How long will my cell phone last? You know, that's a question. I like to have another cell phone with more memory, like 128 or bigger. I think 128 is bigger, I think.
It's 100% drug-free and clinically tested.
But you can send me, I don't know if you can send a PM and ask about my cell carrier. You know, I have to update my data plan on here. So, you know, I like to live stream on my computer.
The court ordered Horace Thornton to be placed on probation for a period of 1 year, during which time he was to undergo a series of psychiatric tests.
So if that tells you anything. You know, I'm looking at a GoPro. I can't afford that. You know, the GoPro 12, whatever it is, where I can mount that on my dashboard, but I still keep my other mount in there for my cell phone. And there's accessories you need with the cell phone. You know, like maybe the chest mount. You know, you got a thing you can put on your chest and wrap it around you like a backpack. Something like that. Then you got like a holder you can put your GoPro on. And it like acts like a battery setup. So I've looked at YouTube channels on the GoPro. I know it'll do Bluetooth. So, you know, I'm looking at something like that. But since I'm not a full-time YouTuber, I got no money come in till I get to be a full-time YouTuber, which I explained at the start of this video what it takes to be a full-time YouTuber. To me, I'm classed as a part-time YouTuber. So, you know, this is going to be a shorty, about 30 minutes, 28 to 30 minutes. And I lay here and watch TV until about 8:30 when I leave. So, I'm just letting you know what I need. You send it to my post office box, Tom Cartwright, 4375, at Post Office Box number 1, Charlestown, Indiana, 47111. You know, you can send gift cards, you know, like you know about my cats. I got 4 tomcats in the living room. They need to be fixed. I don't know what it costs for tomcats. So, what, $200? I'm just guessing that'd be times 4. That's $800. You can send a cashier's check for that to my post office box or post office money orders. Since now I got a savings account, I can deposit a regular money order because it'll sit in there for so many days until it clears the bank. So anything helps out. Like I say, I need gas money to do live streaming. I think before I go to Charlestown, after I leave Salisbury, I go to Jeff and show you along the river, stuff like that. Show you a little bit part about Jeffersonville. And show you where Jeff Boat used to be. That's where they used to make barges. Transport things up the river. Jeff Boat closed down maybe 2+ years ago. Put a whole lot of people out of work. They've been there for years. You can look up Jeff Boat history if you're a history buff. When I was in school, in Charlestown High School, had a history teacher. I don't know if any of his family's on YouTube. His name was Mr. New. He was a good history teacher. He was in, I say, probably World War II, something like that, maybe Korean War, I don't know. And the first day of class, we all went to males and females. He told us, well, when you come tomorrow, bring paper and pencil. The girls didn't like it that much. He showed movies and slides where he was in the war. To me, that was a good history teacher. He was there when it was going on. So I want to thank Mr. New for that class. You took notes on what you saw in them videos and slides. And that was your notes. You had to take notes because that was going to be your test when it came to test time. History teacher should be a history teacher that maybe served in Vietnam or Iraq or Desert Storm. That's history. The other stuff, maybe it is history. But they don't tell you everything about it. I know kids nowadays think they know it all. They don't. To me, they brainwash the kids. But parents, teach your kids from right from wrong. Teach them the history that you had when you was in school. You have the right to protest as long as it's peaceful. You got to do it nice. Don't burn houses down. Don't do this or that. Be polite. Don't push anybody. It's your right to freedom of speech, but you do it peaceful. That's how I was raised. You do everything peaceful. And I was young when I went to Woodstock. You can look Woodstock up. I believe it was in New York State, I believe. You had Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, and a bunch of them. And it was a drug scene, marijuana, LSD, heroin. It rained, it was muddy, and all kinds of things going on. If you're up in my age, your grandpas and grandma might went to Woodstock. Ask your parents, see if they ever went to Woodstock. Remember, kids, I know there's no kids up here because this is for adults only. Be polite. Teach your kids how to be polite, not to abuse women. I know there's women that abuses men. So teach them to be polite. Teach the boys how to hold the door open for a lady. They appreciate it. If they come up on an older lady, you know, it's over 60 years old, 70, 80 years old. It's a good morning or good afternoon, young lady, young man. You make them feel good. You heard a video where I went to Walmart and this person made a comment how polite I was. I made that older lady, she's older than me. I'm in my 70s, so she's probably in 80s, I would say. She loved it. She laughed about it. I made her feel real good. So that's the same thing your young girls can do. Say, hello, young man. How you doing? You know, with our age, we don't get that sometimes. If somebody said, how you doing, young man? Boy, my head will light up. So that's something to think about. Cut that racism down. We all the same. We all got red blood. If you check the DNA, I bet all races got some white people in them. So stop being a racist. You know, you love their neighbors. I tell you about my medical problems. You know, 4 heart attacks, high blood pressure, diabetes. I'm going to throw it in now, Pepsi Zero Sugar. If you're a diabetic, you can't have sugar. If you don't like Pepsi's, it's okay. Look at the other brands out there and you might find it. I tried diet soft drinks. I don't like the taste of them because I guess they add something in it in place of the sugar. I take Ozempic. It's made for diabetes and also for people who lose weight. But everybody's body is different. What might work for me might not work for you. If you got diabetes, you want to ask your doctor if there's a specialist that specializes in diabetes. I go to one, and she helped me out on my sugar like crazy. Got my A1C, which is down to 5.2. I've lost weight on that Ozempic, but everybody's body chemistry is different. I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or anything like that. I don't have any college degrees in anything I've talked about. You know, I'm hoping that I can educate people about diabetes. People, if you got heart problems, will you go to a family doctor? Probably not. You go to a heart specialist. Or if you got heart problems, just like cancer, you would go to a doctor who specializes in cancer. So I don't get nothing from Pepsi. And Pepsi Cola Company, if you're watching that, I live in Clark County, Indiana, but I go to Scott County to a dollar store. It's number 32 Leota Road at the intersection of Leota, 31, and 356. You can leave proof there because they know me because I know I go every Wednesday to pick up the local newspaper. for Clark County and Scott County where I can keep up on the news. But usually the time it gets in the paper, it's a week before it gets in, before, after I get, once I read the paper, I forget everything I read about because I had what they call early Alzheimer's. They call it you inherit it. So, it's part of the family history. It's kind of like, ladies, when you were young, you probably still do it. You keep a diary. I think you should do videos where your children, know about your family history. Have the father of the kids do one about his side of the family history. Your children needs to know that. I talked to a lady, she got diabetes, but did Ozempic work for her? No, she gained 5 pounds on that instead of losing it. She's a beautiful lady. So, everybody's chemistry in their body's different. But I did recommend my doctor, since she lives in Scott County, Indiana, she's going to check into it. I said, when you got diabetes, you got to go to a doctor who specializes in it. They do more for you than what your family doctor would do. I tell you about my medical problems. Somebody asked, I'm dying of cancer. That I won't tell you. Because when it gets to the point, I will, if that's the case. But I got my faith in God. God got something planned for me, but I don't know. But I will buy a Powerball and a Mega Million ticket. In case God would let me win. Then that way I have everything. That I told you about the dreams I like to do to my house. That takes money. I'm not rich. I had a dream. Usually if I dream the dream 3 times, it usually comes true. But this one dream, somebody in the United States left me over 10,000 acres. I think it was close to 20 acres, but it was only a dream. It covers 3 states. But there's a place you can go. You go up on this mountain or something. You can drive up there, and maybe it's called Lookout Mountain. I can't remember. I was a little brat back there then. You could see the 3 states. It had underground places you can live. You had a house you could live in, but you had a thing that you can go in and go underground and live. You had people living underground. And you had a grocery store. You had golf carts where you could drive around. You had water. You had this and that. And in it, you had goats. That way you have goat milk, goat soap, stuff like that. You might be allergic to other soaps that they sell in your local stores. You can look up goat soap, and it don't have all this stuff in it. Look it up. They can send it to you if you don't have one in your state. So you might, but there's a condition of this property that this person left me. I don't know if I ever knew the name or not in it. If my gene told me that, I forgot it. So, but the condition of the place is I have cats, and I rescue cats. You know, like a no-kill shelter, which I think that commercial they have on whatever it is, you know who I'm talking about, that helps out on no-kill shelters. That's what needs to happen in Scott County, Indiana, because if they get a dog in or cats in, they put them to sleep within 24 hours. I had a black and white tomcat, and across the main road, there was female cats, and he went over there. That lady lost her old man. He had a daughter that was an a-hole. She called the Scott County Dog Pound. They came out there and took the cats, even took mine, and took a mama cat that had babies over in the junkyard. Next door. But I call it a junkyard. You know, people collect stuff, so it had babies over there. Did those babies survive? Probably not. So, if that, PTS or whatever you call it, what can't they do something about the Scott County Dog Pound in Scottsburg, Indiana? Stop killing those innocent creatures of God. Even the animals is God's children. You don't have to be human to be God's children. They have the right to live. They have the right to a fair trial. Do they get a fair trial at Scott County, Indiana? Hell no. They murdered those cats and dogs. And Midnight, which you see my outside Midnight, who's black and white. He's Midnight Senior was the daddy of him, but Midnight had 6 toes. He was a rare cat and worth money. Time I found out about it, they done put him to sleep. You know, that hurt my heart. I know you all pet lovers. You need to help me on that. Stop these animal shelters from killing them. You know, that's the problem. I'm against Scott County, Indiana, which is Scottsburg, which is about the 29-mile marker on I-65. You know, people, if you got a dog pound in your neighborhood, let's stop it peacefully. So, you know, let's stop them. There's people that adopt them. There's farmers that can use cats. You know, you can train doggies for medical purposes, you know, that can help save a person's life, or maybe save your life, or protect your kids. You know, let's do that, because God wants me to tell you that. Let's protect these animals. They got rights too. But you do have some mean animals. You know, when I was young, German Shepherds was like the pet bulls today. Doberman Pinschers was like that. But if you raise the animal nice, treat them nice, and train them where they be good dogs, you know, they be good, just like pet bulls. Some of them mean because they train them to be mean. Pet bulls will make you a good pet and a protector of your children. I seen some that was baby pet bulls. And the mom, the human lady would be pregnant. The puppy would come up to them and lay close to the human mother. And them pet bulls will protect the baby after it's born, keep an eye on it and all this. If you try to hurt that baby, that any dog who protects a baby will get you. So remember that. And the service dogs out there, people, I recommend you don't pet them service dogs. But before you pet them, ask the owner of that service dog if it's okay to pet you. Because sometimes they don't recommend to do that. There's a reason which I don't know. You got dogs that's for service for blind people. You got to be careful of all animals. Like, I like to plant more flowers for hummingbirds, where I can attract more hummingbirds. You all know how the helicopter flies. It can go up and down, sideways, front and backwards. That's about what a hummingbird does. I guess the first year here at the Ponderosa, no, not the Ponderosa where you can go eat. You saw the Ponderosa, which on TV was called Bonanza, the Cartwright family. No kidding, it was just a TV show. I love animals. Since I live out in the country, I do have problems with raccoons. I hate them SOBs. In the city, they was more friendlier. They come up to your porch, knock on your door, cat food, stuff like this. These raccoons in the country, you can knock on the window and they take off running. But they killed my chickens and my rooster. I miss my rooster because about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, they would crow and they would wake me up. If I go get in my car to leave and go somewhere, the rooster would start crowing like, say, bye, Daddy. I see you when you get back. When I got back home, he would crow. But, I have fresh eggs. I showed you my chicken coop. I can't afford a regular chicken coop that got heavy-duty wire on, because them raccoons, they're mean. They're strong. They can tear up a cheap wire fence. And during the summer, it depends where you live in the United States or the world, you feed your chickens, like fruit. Like mine, during the summertime, I cut a slice of watermelon. After they eat the first piece of watermelon, any other time I took it out there, they'd jump up there, they want that watermelon. I fed them cantaloupe, apples, all kinds of fruit. So my eggs taste better than what you get in the grocery store. Because you don't know what they feed those chickens. So if it tells you anything, if you live out in the country, you can have chicken and roosters. But if you live in the city, you have to check the local city ordinance or the laws of that city, see if you can have a rooster. You can have chicken, but you can only have so many. So, if you want fresh eggs, you can do it. If you get baby chickens from your local supply store, you're going to have a heat lamp and the water for all that, and you raise them time they was babies. Then you put them in the chicken coop. And you have boxes for them to lay their eggs in, which you put straw in it where they'd be comfortable for the eggs. You'd be surprised how fresh eggs will taste. And I recycle them eggs after I open them up, throw them in my garden or my flower bed. So that tells you something. I know it's early in the morning. Let me see what my local time is. 6:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Temperature right now shows on my computer 48 degrees. And I want to think of you if any of you donate. When I go in the post office in a little, couple of hours, I'll let you know if you all send any donations. If you don't have a note, I'll just say anonymous donor. If you send gift cards, tell me what it's for and how much it is. I showed you the gas stations that's in Scottsburg. You got like Sunoco, Shell, Casey's, stuff like that. If that's a $20 gift card, so that's a $20 gift card for gasoline. Well, you could do more live streaming in your automobile. I found that, people, by watching other YouTubes. And you all love more live streaming out of the automobiles. I get more people that loves my live streaming out of my vehicle. That takes money for gasoline. I've also asked you all, put in the comments what you like for me to talk about. I'm 70 plus years old. I'm on a fixed income. I get between $800 to $900. I will pay my bills today. I got electric bill. I got a water bill. I got a house payment. I've got car insurance, stuff like that. So that's something to look at. It's hell to live on a budget. Everybody, you got to have a budget. Just like your cities and counties, they live on a budget. The state you lives in is on a budget. The only ones that don't have a budget is those people in Washington, D.C. That's how come we're in bad shape, because those Democrats and Republicans and Independents, they can't agree on a budget. One thing I'm pissed off about, like over in Ukraine, they send a lot of money over there. They sending other stuff over there. I disagree with it. It's costing you and me money. We the people, it's costing us. Them people in D.C. forgot they work for us. And we got homeless people. We got homeless veterans. Is our government doing anything to help the veterans out? Hell no. Is our government helping the homeless people? They either lost their jobs or stuff like that, and they're homeless. They couldn't pay that high-price rent. You know, I used to pay $350 a month rent. Thanks to that dumbass mayor, Bob Hall. He was a Republican. You know, I'm a Democrat, but I vote in the fall election, which is November. I split the ticket up. So this year in 2024, I'm going to vote in the primary for Donald Trump. Because I love this person. I do not like what the Democrats is doing to them. The Democrats want the one world government. They want to take your gun rights away. Look in California. You cannot have a gun in public in the state of California. You all can look it up. You all are smart enough to figure where to go. I guess you could put in your search engine for gun laws in California. That law came into effect January the 1st of 2024. Okay, my question to your ACLU people. Okay, say you got a CCW, a gun permit issued by the state of California. I haven't read any comments on it. Would that void that CCW? Which I say it probably does. But people, who runs the state of California? The Democrats. They've been telling us for years that the Democrats is trying to take your gun laws away. Look at those two states. What is it, Colorado and Maine? They're telling you cannot vote for Donald Trump. It's your right to vote who you want to vote for. The Democrats don't like him because they didn't like what he done. He built that border wall to protect us from the illegal people coming across the border. You know, your drug dealers, your child traffickers, and so on. What did Biden do when he got in? Stopped the pipeline. Gas went up. He stopped the border wall. Immigrants coming over. Look what they're doing in Texas. Texas put up that razor wire. And our federal government, no. They asked, to stop the the guardsmen in the state of Texas from putting up the razor wire. Hey, you have the right to protect your property, even if it's the state, but the federal government is interfering with it. Do everything peaceful. Write your congressman and U.S. senators. They forgot they work for us. If they don't do what you request them to do, when it comes election time. Some people gripe about abortion. Well, to me, it is murder. Because you got the ladies of the night going out there making money to do that. Those safety precautions you can take for getting pregnant. That, to me, is murder because a lady can't keep her legs shut. That's my opinion. But when they started abortion over 40 years ago, you had 3 categories where you can have an abortion. It was rape, incest or life of the mother. But there's one thing I want to add to the rape and incest. You have to have a hospital report. You have to have a police report before you can have an abortion. And the life of the mother. When I was married, I asked my wife if she was to get pregnant, what she wanted me to do. 9 chances out of 10, try to save both of us. And also she would say, save the baby, the baby's life is just getting started. I'd be hurt because I lost my best friend. People, instead of having an abortion, those people, families out there can't have kids. You can put them up for adoption. I know you carry it for 9 months. If you're a lady of the night, it takes money away from you. Think about it. Those things that doctors don't tell you when you have an abortion. I knew this one girl. She was a beautiful girl. I'm not going to mention her last name. She had an abortion. She met a nice guy and got married. She couldn't have a kid because she had an abortion. That's something, maybe the doctor who done the abortion didn't know what he or she was doing. So, that's something to look at. Those 3 categories that I mentioned, and I added something to that. So, ladies, give your baby up for adoption. And you one of God's children. I know your ladies of the night got to make money. But there's safety out there that you can make the men use raincoats, but you can buy the raincoats for the men. That way the men won't poke holes in them, if you know what I mean. All it takes one little worm to get into you and impregnate you. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any degrees in that field. I'm just going by past experience. Don't drink alcohol. Don't smoke. Don't do drugs while you're pregnant, because you pass it on to your babies. So, that's only my opinion. I know there's people who are great, but there's families out there that can't have children. You can have a close adoption where the kid can't talk about it. But also, you want to put your family history in it where that child will know the family history of the mother. If you know the father, put his family history in it, because every child has the right to know about the medical family history. That's my opinion. I'm sorry, people, but because you got ladies that goes out there and makes money on the side, get pregnant and have an abortion where they can go back to work. Because you want to make money, like this. I told you my story about my mother, how old she was. She was raped by her stepdad. But he's dead, or he would have been arrested for what he done to my mother. And he done it to his daughters. How I know he done it to my daughters, my sisters on my dad's side have told me. That's not hearsay. It's straight from the horse's mouth. And Parents, teach your kids from right and wrong. Have your daughters learn karate and judo to protect them from getting raped. You know, be there for your kids. You know, girls will be girls. They're human. You know, Mama, sit down with your daughters and talk to them. Tell them about boys. Tell them the story. Tell them about when you was a kid, and tell them the kids, wait until they're in their 20s, get their college out of the way. Let them get out of school, go to college, and make a life for themselves. Boys, you can wait. Wait until you get married or when, stuff like that. You both need to get your education out of the way. Have you a good job. There's all kinds of good jobs. So while you're in school, look out there in the world. What kind of jobs that you can get where you won't get laid off, like a doctor or a lawyer, or specialize in the doctor's field, or specialize as a lawyer. As long as you're a good lawyer, not a crooked one where you lose your license, look at stuff like that. And my adopted parents and my adopted grandmother always told her how it was when they were growing up. How it was rough during the Depression. So, some of you won't like what I talked about this morning. But it's your right as a citizen. I talked about diabetes. I talked about high blood pressure. I talked about my heart attacks. Everybody's chemistry in their body is different from mine. What works for me might not work for you. That's how come I tell you find a specialist that deals in diabetes. Have your doctor recommend you to that diabetes doctor. I think there's another name for it, but I can't think of it off of my head. You know what I'm talking about. That specialist in diabetes will get your diabetes straightened out. Would you go to your family doctor if you got heart problems? No, you go to a heart specialist. If you got cancer, you go to a cancer specialist. There's a specialist for diabetes, so, think about it. Everybody's body's different. Everybody got different chemistry in their body, different from me. This is what I went through in life about my medical history. So what might work for me might not work for you, or it might. So, I'm just educating some people. You could say I'm trying to educate you on my YouTube channel. I do not get paid by YouTube until I get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I consider myself right now as a part-time YouTuber. I don't get paid. That's how come I ask for donations to Tom Cartwright, 4375 at Post Office Box Number 1, Charlestown, Indiana, 47101. I keep forgetting to look on my phone if I still got the Cash App. I keep forgetting to look at it. How to send a link to it, I'm not that smart. So, the reason I put Tom Cartwright 4375 in there, I know it either came from YouTube or the other one that then it tells me somebody out there watching my videos. I only go to the post office box on Friday. But I said, why can't you get your home address? I live out in the country. You know you got mailboxes out there in the country. One stop some idiot from getting into your mailbox. See, that's why I got a post office box. All my bills goes to my post office box. All the important paperwork goes to my post office box. You know, like the food stamp setup, my home loan paperwork goes to my post office box. That way nobody can steal your information. You know, that's what I do to protect myself. I can give you my address, but you can't find my house because it does not show up on the GPS. So I'm going to use this for figure of speech. It says it's 1 west side. Say there's a 1 east side. The GPS will not show you 1 west side. It'll show you the east side. So GPS won't tell you where I live. I know there's a way you can find my address, but then I get thinking, if you're a person like that, you're going to hurt me. Or hurt somebody in my neighborhood, you know. That's why I give my post office box. But, you know, people, if you're using your cell phone, you got a GPS on it. And there's a way you can get your address off of YouTube, if you know what I'm doing. I'm not that smart to do it, but there's people that will do that. So I want to thank you. God thanks you. God to tell you all which ones to donate to my YouTube channel through my post office box. I tell you how many subscribers I need before you all can donate to YouTube. I don't think you can donate through YouTube since I don't get paid the way I understand it. So that's something I'm trying to explain to you the way I'm learning through the process. But there's still people that does make donations to other people's post office box. If you watch a YouTube video, What the Hells, he's into buy storage sheds at auctions. Right now, he's in Otters Creek, Florida. You can watch his videos. And he tell you this is about his family, his life. But he also tells you, do not contact any of those people that he talks about on YouTube, because he can get in trouble. He explained it to you. I guess that's a Florida law that him and his girlfriend can be responsible for what you all tell these people. So be careful what you tell those people. I know that's your right as a citizen, but you got to be polite, be respectful. You can disagree with it, just like when you write your congressman or your U.S. senator. You be polite. or your state people, you have to be polite. Don't threaten them. You know, there's ways to do it legally. Just like your people that's in Congress in Washington, D.C., or senator, or same thing in your state. Remember, we the people, they work for us. When they do not listen to us, you can bring it up at election time. They say they do if they get another 4 years, 6 years, whatever it is, you know. So don't believe what they say. They have lied to you, to us. So I want to thank you. God bless you. Please donate. Hit the notification bell. Hit the thumbs up. Share it with your people. I do recommend you to look at that one YouTube of mine where I talk about the computer. I know it costs too much. So that's something that I need to live stream on my computer. How long will an iPhone SE work? You know, that's something, you know, I can't depend on my cell phone. See, I got the laptop on my lap to keep the cats off of my lap. They get between my legs and go to sleep, but, you know, that's something I need to live stream. They call that a gaming computer. I'm not a person who games, you know, plays those games. I would love to, but I know it takes more money to do that. But I wanted to live stream. So go look at that video on that computer, on the computer video. And the price of that from Walmart is $1,800. That's without sales tax. But you can order it through Amazon and ship it to my post office box. If I don't forget, I'll show you those post office box. It's in the lobby at the Charlestown post office. I will show you the cars that parked out in front of the post office where it's employees. If that many cars is parked out there, there should be that many people inside getting waited on. You might see 1 or 2 people. You got 10 cars parked out in front where you can't park to do your business. So if you know who to contact in the Postmaster General or whatever, you can complain for me. Maybe all post office does it. You know, that's one of my pet peeves. You know, you can't find a damn place to park at the post office. You know, maybe they should put signs up for customers parking only. So I might go in and complain about it. I might get my tail jumped on. You know, like that. My son tells me that the post office is supposed to have signs up against, you know, cameras and other stuff like that, which they don't have, not in the Charlestown post office. But it's a public place, but it's still government owned. So, you know, that's only my opinion. So God bless you. Please make a donation. I said about 9 o'clock my time, which it's 7:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you know about when 9 o'clock is. So I'm just letting you know about it.
There's 2 buildings that match that description. One's gray
I would live stream on my way to the bank, because that's my, in case, you know, you get in a wreck or come up on a wreck. I don't want to be in the wreck. You saw the video, I think it was Monday, when I was leaving Salisbury. I got up by Haas Cabinet, and this idiot in a dump truck came across a road track, thought that asshole was going to stop. You know, I said a few words I shouldn't say. I blew my horn. He didn't even look at me. I even stuck my IQ out the window. He didn't even look at me. I tried to look for that video where I could stop it and bring the company name up. I think it was a brown and white dump truck. I couldn't, you know, came out by Haas Cabinet there on 31 outside of Salisbury. So, you know, people got dash cams. You need to get a dash cam for your vehicle. You got a front and a back camera you can hook up to your back window. I know they cost a little bit. And I was told you could set it up for 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minute categories. Every 3 minutes, and record another 3 minutes. So that protects you if you're in a car wreck. If you're not at fault, that'll help your insurance company to go after them. So you might want to invest in the dash cam. It'll do front and backward. Also, those dash cams got GPS. It'll give your location and your speed and the month, day, and year. That'll protect you. But if you're innocent, it'll save your butt. If you're guilty, it'll hurt you. You know, I had a dash cam, but it was a cheap one I got at Walmart. But thanks to my iPhone SE, which got 64 RAM, you all know what I'm talking about. I'd like to have another iPhone that got 128 or bigger in it, but I can't tell you who my carrier is for you to do that. So if you got an email and you want to donate a new iPhone, you know, got 128 plus, then I can email you back and tell you who my cell phone carrier is. But so I could, you know, do that. Or if you got a phone number, you know, I can text you. But people, here's one of my things I get pissed off about. A whole lot of spam calls. You try to call them back, it's no longer in service, so they spooking their phone numbers. I'm on the federal and state no-call list, but without the person's company name and like that, they can't do nothing. That's what I've been told. But I figured the government or the state, maybe both of them, to make it a felony to spook your phone numbers like that. You know, they trying to con you, this and that. Men and ladies, you meet people on other media sites. Do not send a picture of yourself. You don't know where that picture end up. It might end up on an X-rated site for men. Then the cops will come knocking on your door because you're doing kid pictures, and it might not be on your phone or your computer. You know, that's something to think about. Don't do it. Parents, tell your kids not to send pictures. You don't know who the idiot is on the other end. If it's a classmate, you know it's safe, but tell your kids not to send birthday suit pictures, because even your kids can get charged as an adult for photographic pictures. Because I've seen it on the news. On the national news, that is. I don't watch local news. Except when I get a thing when they talk about the ex-sheriff, Jamie Noe, and his wife yesterday, where Jamie Noe got 5 more charges. That makes a total of 20. Then his wife turned herself in. She got 10 charges. I think 5 of them for tax evasion. And I forget what the other 5. But right now she's in Scott County, Indiana, in Scottsburg City. But in the Scott County jail. You can go to Scott County Jail and look at the roster. It don't show her ever being booked into there. That's what the news media said. They transport her to Scott County. But if you're a police officer or a deputy sheriff, the sheriffs don't get paid unless your name is on that bookend sheet. They probably got her in protective custody because who her husband was. But they still gonna know you in there. Also, people, you get arrested. Here's some good advice that not to do. Do not tell them what you're in jail for. Don't tell them you done it or didn't do it, because it could be used against you. Because them people is in jail for a reason. They do anything to get out of jail. So, ladies and men, don't tell them what you're in jail for. Anytime you have to go to court, take your papers. But people will come into your jail room and look for stuff. You might get the hell beat out of you, or they blackmail you. I've talked to people who's been in jail. So be safe. Don't start any problems. You got people who they call the pit boss or jail boss. They're in charge of their, inmates is in charge. And they make you buy them stuff to protect you. That's illegal in any state you go into. So if I help one person, no matter if it's on drugs, alcohol, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attacks, talking about the jail, or anything like it. If I help a parent out that talks to their kids, I know I've done a deed that God wants me to do. Do I go to church? The answer to that, no. So how can you believe that if you don't go to church? I've always been taught growing up, you can listen to church on TV. You can listen to on your radio on Sundays. You can believe in God, like my dumbass brother I talk about. He says he believes in God. But as soon as he got to that door, the devil took him over. I told you what my brother done to me and my children, and how he done my mom, and how what he done on the will. He didn't go by a will. That's how come adults, when you make a will, and you make a person over that will, you're an administrator. My advice to you on your administrator, pick 3 lawyers if you can do that. If one dies that can do that, they have to go by the will. It's the law. Does a family member have to go by the will? Hell no. You can see that what my brother did. I had a copy of it. I tell you my story. I went to the courthouse, got a copy of it. But when my brother put Mom in the nursing home, he had me arrested where he can get me out of the house and find all the papers to prove everything. So you want to be careful. My advice to you people who have wills, have a lawyer be the administrator. Like I said, maybe 3 lawyers that will not break the law like your family members would do. So people, think about it. You might say you can trust your family. Wait till you die, you find out they won't do what you want in the will. Like, you might have the insurance to bury you. They have you cremated against your wish or so. People, that's something to think about. You know, pick out the music. You know, pick out your casket. You can prepay for your funeral, but make sure it's paid off. Just like my mom and dad, they paid for theirs in the 1960s when Grandma and Grandma died. It was paid because it was cheap, and the tombstone was cheap, and that way it was. That's how it was back there then. They cut the date in when you was born, but you also paid for it, you know, at that time when you died. They don't charge you in the years to come. Well, Grayson's Funeral Home charged my brother $125 somewhere, and that was paid for. So what did them asshole Grayson's Funeral Home do with that money when it was paid for in the 60s? That funeral was paid for between the 60s and 70s. So my mom and dad didn't own any money. Grayson's Funeral Home charged my brother over $1,000. So people, you will get screwed by your family. Make sure you got everything in writing. Even on the pay funeral, pay before you die. Make sure you get it in writing on your tombstone that your date of when you was born and the date when you die is included into that. Make sure you have it in writing where they won't come back years later. You know, I used to work in a cemetery, cut grass. I started working cutting grass at 12 years old. I had a work permit. I had a Social Security card. I paid in to Social Security at 12 years old. But as a child, you're only allowed to work so many hours. So if it tells you anything. That's how long I've been paying into Social Security until I got to the point I couldn't work anymore. My dad died in 92. Grayson's took over. It was in the minutes that a funeral home director cannot be on the cemetery board. Chris Grayson's on the board. People left in their will so much money to go into the cemetery CD fund. And that money can only be used for to buy flowers on certain days. They can only touch the interest off of it. Well, I'll put it that way. Chris Grayson went through every CD they had. And you people set money up like that that could only touch the interest. You know, back when Dad was in there and I was working there, the interest was high. So now the cemetery ain't got no money because he spent the money which the family did not want. Can the family do anything? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But I seen the people's will that they set up for the cemetery. They can only touch the interest. But why did Chris Grayson of the funeral home and on the cemetery board, which is a conflict of interest? That's my point. It's a conflict of interest. You know, that's only my opinion. But make sure you get everything in writing. I tell you things to add if you have a prepaid funeral. And having it where the tombstone you want, where they have the dates that when you're born and the dates when you die. Make sure it's in there and you pay for it at that time. They can't come back, say, 10 or 20 years later and charge you for it when you done paid for it. I think, to me, that's theft in my book. But like I say, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just going on what I've experienced working in a cemetery. That's first-hand information. I used to help the family when they come up there. And they thank me for how I trimmed the grass around the tombstone, take care of it. Sometimes a family requests I take soap water and clean the stone up. I've done that. Or when you bury someone, I make sure I pack it down real good and put good dirt on it and put the grass seed or fertilizer on it and put more sprinkle dirt on it with, you know, they want me to come back. I'm 70 plus years old. I can't do that. And like when Mom died, I complained. I went and spent money out of my pocket. I packed it all down. And I put some potting soil on it. Then I sprinkled grass seed on it and fertilizer and sprinkle more potting soil. What do those assholes up there do? They run over it. Then I put straw on it. You know, when I was there, you got straw on it, you cut around that. I got complaining to him. Now I found out the cemetery board had a meeting. I went to it. I complained. I said, that's not how you take care of people's graves up there. When I worked there, I said, the people loved me the way I'd done that. And you got this so-and-so asshole right there, don't know what the hell he's doing. I've told him and told this asshole. That's exactly the words I used. I said, I almost ready to smack him. But I said, I know if I smack him, that's a big bad. If you can't do anything, they had the lawyer there. He's a good friend of the family. He knows how I felt, of this. So they straighten it up. They do it a little bit better now, but if I catch him, I complain about it. I take pictures, but now since I got a good phone, I can videotape it to let your people know who lose loved ones that's buried in the Charlestown Cemetery. So that's my pet peeve. So I hope you all have a good morning. It's Friday. I got to go to the bank around 9 o'clock. That's when they open up. I got to do a transaction, which I don't know how to do it. And then one of the managers in it said, have your son help you. 4577. And, they would show me how to do it on my phone. People, if you own a bank, teach your customer how to do that. If you got an app for your bank. So I'm going to go in there. It's going to be some paperwork. But, that's their part of the banking business. So I want to thank you for any donations. I'll let you know about it after. I won't do a live stream. I'll probably videotape and show you about those boxes I was talking about. It'll show you I'm not lying. So God bless you. God loves you. Have a safe trip. Please make a donation, whatever you can. So I love you all. God loves you. Keep believing in God.